Hi. Welcome to the show.
Number 2, huh?
Yes.
Well, it gives us something to live for now. It'll be number 1, right?
Right.
Blackie,
Yes, sir.
$500,000 and 1 year to record.
Oh, somebody
Woof.
shortchanged you, bud. Let me tell you something. More like 15 months and $600,000. So it's like I've heard of a day late and a dollar short, but it's $100,000 short at this point. We had to rob our piggy banks to make this one.
Yeah, I thought I'd
Very
wind it up.
big piggy bank. Nice.
Well, why does it take so much money to
Because he
record
kept
albums?
screwing things up.
I never show up in the studio.
Really, it's like, you know, are you coming? Will you please come down today? You know, no.
Well, on your album, you talk about political and world issues. Are you trying to get a point over there, Blackie?
When we finished the circus tour, Inside the Electric Circus tour a couple of years ago, I got to a point where I just didn't have anything to say anymore. You know, either in interviews or even more importantly, musically. We did songs like Animal and Wild Child, Blind Texas. Those are all great songs, but we said that. And once we said that, it's like, okay, if the Beatles did She Loves You, and they said that as best they could, what are you going to do? Keep trying to remanufacture the same songs over and over again? I mean, you end up being a parody of yourself, and a bad parody at that. If you don't change, then you just dry up and wither away. I mean, you have to say something new after a while. And what I was going through was things that had been boiling inside of me for a long time. I mean, my specific viewpoints about, well, the album itself is called The Headless Children. And The Headless Children, if people think, you know, W.A.S.P are running around lopping kids' heads off and things like that, it's nothing like that at all. The Headless Children started out as being an anti-nuclear war song. And then the more and more I watched the news, it started dawning on me that that is what The Headless Children is all about. It's about any insanity that you see anywhere. And these are things that I felt for a long time and just never said anything about it. And the more and more I started talking to fans and viewing my attitudes on things like drugs, which I believe is our single biggest problem that we have, it dawned on me that there are more people out there that think like this than I thought that there were. I just thought it was sex, drugs, rock and roll. That's all they care about. They don't want to know about anything else, and how wrong I really was. And this record is a serious record about serious subject matter, and I would really, therefore, like it be very much to be taken seriously.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring the point up.
So what about your actual live show, Blackie? Have you tamed that down from?
Well, W.A.S.P will always do a big show. I mean, it wouldn't be W.A.S.P without it, you know. But what we're going to do is, you haven't seen the album cover yet, and maybe we can get one around here somewhere that you can insert, but we're going to attempt to bring this album cover to life. So to say that we used to do things like the rack and all that before, what we're trying to get away from is something that's not do anything that's going to detract away from what we're doing musically. This time we let the music do the talking, but we build the visuals into what's around the music instead of having the visuals work against it where it's visual and just, you know, the music becomes a soundtrack to what we're doing visually.
Chris, keyboards on the album, I mean, is it going to be the same W.A.S.P? Is it going to be as hard as usual?
Yeah, I'm going to take a keyboard player out on the road. Ken Hensley played on our album.
Oh, you are right, man.
Yeah, it's real fun to work with the guy in the studio because he's like a pro, like the old John Lord sound, you know. I enjoyed working with him.
How did you come across Ken?
Johnny knew him from St. Louis. He'd played in the Riverboat bands or something like that. Yeah.
More like Riverboat Queen.
There's a
Just
fun
kidding,
guy.
John.
We always wanted to bring keyboards in, and John, his name just came up, you know, because that's that old Leslie sound. And Blackie asked Johnny, he goes, yeah, you know Ken Hensley, call him up. So he called him up and he came out, rehearsed with us. How many tracks did he play on?
Yeah.
Well, he only
7?
rehearsed 2 songs with us initially, but we found that every day, you know, we keep rehearsing, it sounded really good, so pretty soon it ended up where he played on almost the entire album.
You just took the question away from Des.
Yeah, no. That was my next question.
good.
It's a mind reader.
Well, we don't really need you here.
Yeah, carry on with the show.
I'll ask the
We'll take this
questions,
show
right?
on for you. I've been wanting one, you know. Why do you think I'm here?
You produced your own album. Don't you
Yes.
trust anybody else?
No, we're just greedy. No, it's like, you know, most bands know what they want. They just don't know how to get it from the amplifier through the board onto the tape. And if you have a meager amount of experience, which I think that's how we could be qualified, you get a pretty good idea what you want and how you want to go about doing it. And if you're gonna lose. You know, it's the old telephone game. You know, you lose something in the translation all the time if you don't have the right guy there. You know, and then pretty soon the worm turns into the anaconda, and God, you've got a mess on your hands. You know?
Well, the album is a bit late coming to the MTV and the Bailey Brothers, but I heard there's a ballad, Forever Free. Is that right?
Yes.
What's that about then, Blackie?
Forever Free is unfortunately a true story about someone who is very close to me, who's no longer with us, and really, in all honesty, the song has no business being on the album because it's not as heavy or as aggressive as the rest of the album. This is the most aggressive European-sounding record we've ever done. I mean, it sounds in a lot of ways unlike anything we've ever done. But this song, like I said, is in some ways schizophrenic and doesn't really coincide with everything else that's going on, but it's something that I felt. And I've learned in the last few years you don't deny the feelings that you have inside of you, because I think I did that for too long. Somebody was asking me the other day, they said, describe yourself in one word, and I said, misunderstood, because people would see the image, and most people, because they never got a chance to talk to me, just assumed, you know, that the image was, you know, preceding everything before I ever walked into a room, and they thought I was going to lean over and start chewing on their nose or something. And I thought, well, it's time, because we've done all that, we've said all that, it's time to give them a little more insight as to what's really going on here.
That's a nice subject to carry on. I think we'll have a look at a video mic and then get back to some serious talking. Serious talking on the show today, folks.
That's right. Blinding Texas. Fancy this one?
If you do.
Right.
Why not? Blinding Texas.
This
We're
is
back.
WASP. Check it out.
Chicken.
Till I couldn't see, I fell on the floor when I said his. I'm blind in Texas. The Lone Star is hot tonight. I'm blind in Texas. The cowboys have taken my eyes. Drink Dallas whiskey, lost my mind. Had highballs in Houston, free for a dime, yeah. Everything starts to spin, loaded on gin. I fell out the door, what I said is, I'm blind in Texas. The Lone Star is hot tonight. I'm blind in Texas. The cowboys have taken my eyes. San Antonio and the West Texas town of Paso. Corpus Christi and Waco. Yellow roses raising hell in Austin, just in the sun now. When the Hoods Gal police decided to come round, they said, well, what's the matter with you? What you trying to do? I looked at the man and I said, I'm in Texas. The Lone Star is hot tonight. I'm blind in Texas. I'm blind in Texas.
So, did you check it out or did you chicken out? That's what we want to know. Welcome back. Blackie, it must be a big decision to sort of change your music and change your whole outlook on...
Well, he's always wanted to do heavier stuff than we've done, and we just got to a point where the subject matter was very serious, and I could not see doing a serious subject without having music that was equally aggressive to go with it. So at that point, we decided, to do it. I think we had a little dissension on whether we wanted to use keyboards or not, but it was one of those things I said, just trust me on it, because I'm seeing the vision in my head as to what it sounds like, and it's changed it for the better, I think.
Do you agree with that, Chris? Are you pleased with it now you use keyboards?
Yeah, I thought it'd be like Emerson, Lake and Palmer or something, you know.
Yeah.
Which is not bad.
I like the heavy set. They had, just guitar, bass, and drums really heavy.
Guitar player, egomaniacal. Yeah. I don't know how they are.
90% guitar and
right.
1%.
No. You should hear his idea. His idea what a solo album is. 24 tracks. You take the drums, the bass, and vocals all on one track. 23 tracks of guitars, and you mix with a 2x4.
But you've done Mean Man, a tribute to Chris. What is?
Well, I don't know if it's a tribute or not. It's just it's like a reporter goes out on the street and does factual reporting. When it comes in, I'm just really telling the story and making it rhyme. That's about it. And if you know this guy, then.
But it's really unusual to have. Usually the tributes are right about somebody when they're dead. I mean, are you thinking Chris is dead?
Like I said, I don't think it's a tribute.
It's a bit quiet today for me.
Sometimes I'm dead.
I don't know. It's like I said, I don't think so much a tribute as it is just factual reporting.
Yeah.
I'll get my journalistic award for this one.
You might do, Chris. We saw when we was in the States. We saw the Metal Years.
What's that? It's a movie.
It's a movie where you're in it, obviously. Whereabouts in the pond?
He's in a swimming pool.
They'd called me to do an interview, and it was supposed to be done on a Sunday, and I was partying to hell on a Saturday.
I noticed.
And then they called me up Saturday afternoon and says, guess what, you're not going to do it tomorrow. And I went, oh, well, why not? And they go, you can't do it today. I was out of my mind, and I went...
Like they're calling you from the car phone.
Yeah.
We'll be there in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was already told. I said, okay, let's do it today. So I came out mostly different than other people's interviews.
You did, because everyone in the movie, everyone at the movies were just falling off the seats were laughing. You went down.
Well, the other guys were too serious in a way. I'm not knocking what anybody said in there.
Lemmy serious?
Huh?
Lemmy serious?
Yeah, let me a
kind
fiver.
of serious. There's a few other people in there. There's a lot of people were like lying about things.
Yeah, Ozzy was there trying to cook his bacon and eggs, and then he says, "I'm totally off drink and drugs," and tried to pour.
He's trying to pour the orange juice.
Trying to pour the orange juice. It was all over the table. You're like, stand still.
Chris,
well, maybe if he did have a drink, he'd stop shaking.
I heard you was brought up on vodka. And I don't know if it's true. Was your mom a real Hell's Angel?
Yeah, my stepdad was. And there's no women Hell's Angels. There's no such thing. They just ride.
They're along for the ride.
Yeah.
Right, they're on the back, because they probably change them like they do their teeth.
Jesus.
Their toothbrushes.
And Blackie, I mean, people quote that you're mentally worn out these days. Is that a true quote?
So something like my accountant's trying to push off on me, you're not really right. You should let me handle all these things for you. No,
But you have to took a lot on it. It's hard, like producing your own album, the writing, and then all the PR work, what's got to be done.
I'll be honest with you. Before we started this record, I had it. When I saw you guys at Donington a year and a half ago, I was just starting to come out of it at that time, but because we went for so long, we did a record and a tour and a record and a tour and a record and a tour, and finally after a while, I didn't know what my name was after a while.
Yeah.
I was walking around bumping into walls for no reason at all, and you really get to a point where you don't know who you are and what your name is, and more importantly, you don't know where you're going. And I've had this conversation with two other guys in major bands that have said, expressed the same kind of feelings that they both said, and they'll remain nameless, but each record that they had both made previous said they didn't know what they were doing. You start doing things on instinct, and that is not good for creativity.
No, it's not.
So you really have to take a step backwards, so hopefully you can take two forward.
With the new single, I hope.
Well, the public will be the judge of that. We'll have this conversation in 3 months, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's important to have a hit single in America?
you can live without singles anywhere as long as the record is true to form of what it is, you know, and as long as it becomes conducive. I think if a band starts thinking about singles, that's the road to ruin.
Okay.
Let's play a video, Mick.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about the tour,
Yeah.
the forthcoming tour. We'll take a look at Wild Child. Why not?
Yeah.
I like this video. Wild Child. So, yeah, check it out, viewers.
I ride the winds and bring the rain, a creature of love, and I can't be tamed. I want you, 'cause I'm gonna take your love from him, and I'll touch your face in hot burning skin. Though he'll never ever touch you like I do. So look in my eyes and burn alive the truth. I'm a wild child, come and love me. I want you. My heart's in exile, I need you to touch me, 'cause I want what you do. I'm a wild child, come and love me. I want you. My heart's in exile, I need you to touch me, 'cause I want what you do. I want you. I want you. Tell me the lies you're telling him when you run away, 'cause I wanna know. 'Cause I'm sure it's killing him to find that you run to me when he lets you go. 'Cause I'm burning, burning, burning up with fire. So come turn me on and turn the flames up higher. I'm a wild child, come and love me. I want you. My heart's in exile, I need you to touch me, 'cause I want what you do. I'm a wild child, come and love me. I want you. My heart's in exile, I need you to touch me, 'cause I want what you do. I want you. I want you. A naked heat machine, I want your love. When the moon's arise, we'll feel just what it I'm a wild child, come and love me. I want you. My heart's in exile, I need you to touch me, 'cause I want what you do. I'm a wild child, come and love me. I want you. My heart's in exile, I need you to touch me, 'cause I want what you do.
That's dedicated to all you metalheads out there, because we know that you're all wild childs.
Well, we've had some serious talk from the boys. We're going to talk about a bit of humour now. Blackie,
Very little humor.
I hear you come across Chris in a magazine called The Hustler.
Well, we call it the hustler, not the hostler.
A horse.
Horsler, that sounds like something you're roping out in the field. I got him, boys. It's a big one. The horsler, the horse rustler, that's what it is. It's combined, one word.
How did he come? I mean, what was Chris wearing inside? I mean,
Not much. His birthday suit, and a bow tie. No, it was just this thing, It's like I was in a band called Sister, which was actually a predecessor for W.A.S.P. And we were looking for a guitar player, and we knew the group, the Motels, used to live like 2 doors down from us at the time. And the guitar player come by and he says, I was looking through this magazine. They've got a section in there which they call the beaver hunt, you know, which is where these, you know, voyeur men send in snapshots of their wives, and some of them could be better looking, let's put it that way. But they've got one section in there, it says for women only, and where, you know, a snapshot of a guy is sent in. And I looked through there, and it's a picture of him in there, and it says rock and roll animal up underneath it. And I was telling one guy, I says, look at this guy. And this guy from the motels came down, the guitar player, he goes, I know this guy. And then I started looking at him. I said, yeah, right, sure, you know, get out of my house. You know? And he says, no, he says, this guy's a guitar player here. He's pretty good. He says, I know somebody who knows him. He says, we can get in touch with him if you like, you know. Come to find out, he lives in Pasadena, which is about 15 miles from where we're at. And called him up and said, you know, how long's your hair? And he says, to my rear end. And I said, how tall are you? He says, 6'5". I says, you got any zits? He says, no. I said, come on down. And here we are now.
You actually found someone bigger than you.
An installer, yeah.
Yeah. What's Sister Before Circus?
Yes. That's where I met Randy Piper, was from Circus Circus.
Yeah, Randy Piper was a nice character. What? Surprised to see him go, Blackie. What was the reason behind that?
I don't know. It's just now you see him, now you don't.
No, you don't.
It's like,
You've been on the road for a long time. I mean, it must get a lot of pressure for bands to keep touring, like you say, in the albums.
touring is actually easier than making records. Touring is pretty mindless, you know. I mean, making the records is a tough part. Because, I mean, it's like taking an algebra exam every day. You know, every day's a test. But then when it's done, and hopefully it turns out all right, you set up your pre-production to start the tour. And then when the tour starts, then you have some fun. Because you're only doing it an hour and a half a night.
It's the same thing every night.
You know, I mean, it's real easy.
Kai doesn't think so of Halloween. He's left because of...
I don't know what kind of tours he's been on, but he ain't been on the ones we've been on, I'll tell you that, you know. We're having a blast.
Are you still close?
I mean, come on. I mean, let's face it. You're working an hour and a half a night. How tough is that? I mean, you'd be sitting behind a grill somewhere saying, "Excuse me, man, would you like cheese on that burger?" You know, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anybody complain about this ain't got much to complain about. You know, I mean, you show me a man with $5 million ain't happy, I'll show you a damn fool. You know, I mean, come on.
Good point.
Are you still close, you two? But you've been together about 10
We've
years.
got 2 or 3 inches apart. Right now. No, you'll take 10 years together. It's like, you know everybody's idiosyncrasies and all that. You know, it's like you're married in a way. You know.
Chris, you're looking
Of course, that's
for a
illegal in most states, you know. But
You're looking for a drummer, Chris?
Yeah.
Is that
Are we
any
looking
ideas?
for one now?
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 ideas, or 3, or 4, or 5. We used Frankie Vanilli on the album, but I don't want to say who will be touring with us. It's too early for that.
Where does this tour kick off? Back in...
February 4th in Dublin, and then we do about
February?
14. Is it February?
Yeah.
March.
February 4th.
Pick a month. Really? You started this thing 3 days ago. Thank you, son. No, we March. What month is it? April 4th. I'm sorry.
April 4th.
February 4th next year.
Pick a month.
99.
Right.
So you do the UK.
We're taking another year off.
Really. That's like when we're making the record. You know, the guy from Capitol calls me up and he says, "When's the record going to be done?" I said, "May." And this is last year, and so then October rolls around, and it's still not done. He calls me up, he goes, "I thought you said the thing was going to be done in May." I says, "Yeah, but I didn't say what year."
Yeah.
You know? Then finally, he calls me up again, and he says, "When's this thing going to be done?" I says, "Listen," I said, "remember when you was a kid, you stick your head in the kitchen and tell your mother, say, 'Hey, Mom, when's dinner going to be ready?' She said, 'Get out of here. It's on the table when it's ready and not until.'" I said, "Yeah, you get my drift now?" And he goes, "Yeah, I never called again."
Get me drift. We used that over here. Get me drift. Yeah. And
So anyway, we start April 4th in Dublin of this year. And it'll take us to about 14 dates, and then we're over to mainland Europe after that for a couple
a
months.
support band. I've heard a rumour might be Slave Raider.
No.
No.
What I'm hearing right now is Femme Fatale. But, yeah, that's what I said, too.
Yeah. we just had Lorraine Lewis on the show.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you just had Lorraine Lewis.
Yeah. I saw the
Where
image
was
in your
I when
eyes.
this was going on?
Chris, are you looking forward to the tour in England? I mean, the Donington one, you could tell the viewers you wasn't really happy on stage.
Well, as long as it doesn't rain inside the halls, I'll be having fun. I'll love it. I just didn't like it raining. This is the first time I ever played in the rain. I was waiting to get zapped by something. And I've never played in the rain before.
You went down.
There was this much water on the stage, I might as well have been swimming underground. And it's just hard to perform like that.
Well, it's interesting. A lot of viewers didn't realise that.
I mean, this is rock
What do
and
you
roll,
mean, people
Chris.
that were in the audience? It
It
didn't
ain't
rain.
brain surgery.
No, did-
Wait, I didn't know. Did it rain in the audience? Because it sure did on stage.
But they didn't realise you wasn't having fun on stage.
Well, I was having fun, but I wasn't. I just don't like the rain. You know,
It's the difference, see.
where I come from, it rains once.
Every 10 years.
Yeah, and rarely. And then
Then
you're
everybody
inside.
gets, because it does, they think they've all done something wrong. They run
Yeah.
and cut a calf and put it on a rock like, oh, we won't do it again. You know.
Well, we've got to go, Blackie. Have you got
Okay.
your brollies? Because it's raining home
Oh, it
here.
is?
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Really has.
Thanks, Mick.
Chris?
Des.
See you when
Look
we
forward
get
to you.
back.
On tour.
On tour.
Good luck with the new album,
We'll
the
be
new
back.
direction. Look
Okay.
forward to it.
We'll be back.
In the meantime, we'll take a look at a video.
All right.
Oh, you shit.